has collaborated with eminent musicians to deliver discourses in the Harikatha style and with renowned dancers in the Katha Nritya style. He has conceptualized, scripted and directed large dance productions such as Agri Pashyami, Rama and Sita, Arandanin Padayil, Bhavayami Raghuramam, etc. to name a few, with leading choreographers. He delivers lectures to corporates and educational institutions besides speaking at renowned conclaves. He has a wide spectrum of audience following on YouTube with over 2,000 videos. He has rendered over 3,500 discourses in 125 cities across 23 countries. He has directed and produced the movie Shakuntalam, the award-winning Sanskrit movie that was a tribute for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. He has penned the story, screenplay and dialogues for the movie Vedanta Desika, produced by Mukta Films, beside donning the role of a protagonist. He has studied at the BITS Pilani, has worked in multinational companies and as teaching faculty too. He is a recipient of various awards and titles. To name a few, we have Vagpilasa Amrita Ratnam title, Sri Chandrasekhara Saraswati National Eminence Award from SIES institutions, Bharatiya Sanskriti Jagrana Puraskar title by Karnataka Archival Center, Pravachana Ratnamani title, etc. to name a few. We welcome you, sir. Before we begin the program, a small announcement. Our next Sandhya concert is in July. This is on the 6th of July. It's a Saturday by Bangalore Brothers. We would like to wholeheartedly thank a Sandhya member who has agreed to fully sponsor 2 concerts. We would also like to present more such programs from Sandhya. For this, we need your continued support and sponsorship from many of you. On behalf of Sandhya, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Sri Dushyanth Sridhar for accepting our invite. I now request Mrs. Shaila Mohan to felicitate on behalf of Sandhya. And I also request Mr. Srinivasan to felicitate Sri Dushyanth Sridhar. Your profound wisdom and insights have left an indelible mark on our hearts and minds, inspiring us to delve deeper into our spiritual journey. Thank you, sir. We sincerely thank Mr. Siddharaju for setting up the stage, seating and the mic. Thank you, Mr. Siddharaju. Our special thanks to Mr. Lakshmi Narayan for providing us the space for today's discourse. Our sincere thanks to the wonderful audience and all the Sandhya members for attending this discourse. Have a great evening and enjoy, sit back and enjoy the discourse. Thank you.
Before I commence, I have an ardent request. Each of our mobile phones has 3 options. So you keep pressing the right side, the volume goes down. The second is if you keep 2 buttons pressed at one go, you have 3 options, one of which is very, very important, which is shut. And third is putting it on the flight mode. So nothing will happen to anybody in your family for the next 2 hours. Don't worry at all. So, and if you're unsure how to do it, I'm sure your neighbor will know much more about your phone. So get that done from your neighbor. To be doubly sure, just ensure that is done. Ramanuja Dayapatram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanathāryam Mande Vedanta Deshikam Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathaya Munamadhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Mande Guru Paramparam यो नित्यमच्युत पदाम्बुज युग्मरुक्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वयभट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणु परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को नयाति परां गतिं वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचीतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना अंजनानंदनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशं अक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लंका भयंकरं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि आञ्जनेयमदिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीय विग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् जानकीकान्तस्मरणं ಇವತ್ತು ಏಕಾದಶಿ ಇಲ್ಲ जानकीकान्तस्मरणं गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं नमः सदसे नमः सभाये I'm extremely indebted to Sandhya Raaga and the galaxy of Astikas who have invited me to the Dakshina Bhagam of the Rajdhani of Karnataka. I stay in the Uttara Bhagam of the Rajdhani and we are worlds apart. So, Sandhya Raaga has invited on such a wonderful Sandhya Samayam, and the topic that they have asked me to speak on is Thyagaraja Ramayana. The beauty is, I was born and raised in this beautiful Rajdhani of Karnataka Kshetram. Karneshu Atadi iti Karnataka. It is called Karnataka because it is Karneshu Atadi. The kings of the state who ruled the state, the poets and the philosophers that this land has produced has only brought good news, auspicious news to the ears of Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi sports beautiful earrings, and as she listens to the news of triumph and victory and auspiciousness, her head nods, and as she sways and nods, her earrings do dangle along. Since the music that comes from the dangling of the earrings of Mahalakshmi when she hears of the news of triumph in the state, it is called Karneshu Atadi iti Karnataka. So Karnam, ear, it brings good news to Mahalakshmi. And the capital of the Rajdhani of Karnataka Kshetram is Bengaluru. So ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ భాషೆ కన్నడ. లేకపోతే నేను త్యాగరాజన్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను కదా, అది తెలుగు తేట ಅಂತ చెప్తారు. తెలుగు తేట అని చెప్తాను ఆ సాహిత్యమైన భాష తెలుగు పేషుం నాం తమిళం You know, in the state of Tamil Nadu, many people hold the placards of protecting the Tamil language, but they have Telugu roots. That said, it is such a potpourri and a medley of such beautiful languages, and this name of our Pradesham, Karnataka, is also the name given to the Shastriya Sangeetam, which is Karnataka Sangeetam. Because it is a Prachina Sangeetam, it is a Sangeetam that is rooted in the Vedas. Says Tyagaraja, some award designates in Karnataka Sangeetam may not agree to it. But Tyagaraja clearly voices his thought that it is rooted in Samavedam. Nabhihritkantharasana sadhu lillo shobhillo saptaswara Nabhihritkantharasana. There are 4 layers of speech or music that comes. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari, it is called. Those who are devotees of Parvati, who recite Lalita Sahasranamam will know. Para, Pashyanti, Kshiti, Rupa, Pashyanti, Paradevata, Madhyama, Vaikhari, Rupa. These are the 4 stages. And these 4 stages in speaking or singing has been elaborated to us by many rishis. One such is Agastya. Agastya was born in a pot. So Tyagaraja's contemporary Muthuswami Dikshita says, Parati Chatvari Vagatmaka Pranava Swarupa Vakratundam Paradi Chatvari. What are those 4? Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari. So Karnataka Sangeetam, Shastriya Sangeetam, this genre of music is rooted in the Vedas. Whether you like it or not, it is rooted in the Vedas. It is rooted in the Samaveda, to be very specific. Commentators like Bhattavaskara and Sayanacharya state that the swaras like Anudatam, Swaritam, Dirgha Swaritam is what that leads to the 7 swaras Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. Shat Jam, the first swara gives rise to the next 6. Shat, 6. Jam, birth. Shat Jam, this swara gives rise to the next 6. Shat Jam, Rishabam, Gandharam, Madhyamam, Dhaivatam, Nishadham. So these are all the swaras which we abbreviate as Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. So Tyagaraja says, Shobhillu Saptaswara. So Saptaswaras form the very basis of this genre of music. Vedas coupled with the Itihasas and Puranas undoubtedly form the foundation of Karnataka Sangeetam. In its colorful, rich history, Karnataka Sangeetam has been very fortunate to have great composers. Nobody can deny the great contributions made by Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa, Vijaya Vitthaladasa. Harismarane mado nirantara innudaya barade dasana mele dayamado ranga dayamado kaliyugadali hari yake nirdayanadiyo hariye Chandra Chuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Ninage Namo Namo. Which Devarnama is not beautiful? When you listen to one, you feel this is the best. And when you go to the other one, you find that is the best. So probably English helps us. It says the best among the equals. All Devarnamas of Purandaradasa are beautiful. Kanakadasa's Sahityam literally brings tears. Bashpavari Paripurna Lochana. Garvarahitava Madige Nanu Porave Bharavu Nimmade Shri Guru Purandarata Sare So, the contributions made by the composers, the bhakta, the bhagekaras of Karnataka Pradesham to Shastriya Sangeetam is immense. All our Balapatham is formulated by Purandaradasa. The contributions made by the state of Kerala. Oh, Manatingal Kidavu Nallako Malatamarapu Povil Niranya Madhu Paripurnendu Tanne Nilavu. Iriyamantambi he was called. Swati Tirunal. So many great composers of Kerala have made such great contributions to Shastriya Sangeeta. Arunachala Kavi. Panikala vari jampola niram kusi pagal vor yugamaga kaditane prayasi ninaitange ravanat annan vara chi chi nillada என்று ஏசி தனித்து தன் உயிர் தன்னை தான் விட மகராசி சாரும் போதே காணும் சமயமே தேவாசி இனி தாமதம் செயல் ஆகாதென்றிட பேசி ராமா 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 என்றெதிர் பேசி கண்டேன் 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 சீதையை கண்டேன் ராகவா. Arunachala Kavi's creation of Ramanataka, Muttutandavar, Marimutta Pillai, the Pasurams of the Alvars and the Paddles of the Nayanmars, the background music emanating Tiruppugal of Arunagirinathar, Dittagavotta Paribura, Nittapada Maitu Bhairavi, Tikkotka Nadikka Kalugudu Kaldana, Tikkapparata Pairava Tukku Chitra Paurik Trigadagayana Boda. முத்தை தருவத்தி திருநகையத்திக்கிர சக்தி சரவண முத்தி குருவித்து குருவரகன போதும் முக்கட்பரமர்க்கு சுருதியின் முற்பட்டது கற்பித்திருவர் முப்பத்து வர்க்கத்தவரும் அடி பேண. What a tongue twister he created even before Betty bought some butter. So the contributions made by the Tamil Vagekaras is immense. What do I speak of Telugu? నన్ను బ్రోవమని చెప్పునరి శిరోమణి జనకు నీ కూతుర జనని జానకమ్మ నన్ను బ్రోవమని చెప్పవే. Bhadrachala Ramadas, while he was receiving the lashes from Tanasha and Golconda Fort, he composed all of this. Kshetraya O Sosi Namadi, the padams and the javlis in the Telugu language. Annamaya Paramapurusham Gopala Balam Bhavayami Gopala Balam Manaseditam. Who can forget those verses of Annamacharya, Uddukadu Venkatakavi, Muthuswami Dikshitar? He is an encyclopedia. When he takes a kriti, he gives you every possible information. You take a Vara kriti of Surya Murti, he will tell you how Surya is, how is Angaraka. Mangalavaram Bhumi Kumaram Varam Varam Angarakamashayamyaham. He talks about Mars. He tells a Kshetram Vaidishwaram Kovil Dinarakshaka Pujita Vaidyanatha Kshetram. He gives you every possible information. He's like Chat GPT of those days. Every possible information. Shyama Shastri Saroja Dalanetri Himagiri Putri. So the Sahityam of all these Vagekaras is immense. But there is one who absorbs them all, and his name is Tyagaraja. There can be no proper Shastriya Karnataka Kacheri without a Tyagaraja Kriti. You cannot take away Tyagaraja from Shastriya Sangeetam. You cannot take away Rama from Shastriya Sangeetam. You cannot take Rama from Tyagaraja in Shastriya Sangeetam. Logically, you can never take them away until and unless you want an award. So, that said, in Shastriya Sangeetam, Tyagaraja Swami was born in Tiruvarur. Amongst the Shaivite Divyadeshams, it is called a Padal Petrasthalam. Like how in Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam we have 108 Divyadeshams, there are close to 270 plus Padal Petrasthalams in Shaiva Sampradayam. Tiruvarur is called Mooladhara Kshetram. Muthuswami Dikshitar says, Mooladhara Kshetra Sthitam Paradi Chatvari Pagatmaka. So Tiruvarur is called Mooladhara Kshetra. Shaivas believe that this temple came even before Chidambaram. That is why the only Shiva temple in Tamil Nadu where Tirumurai is recited without invoking the word Tiruchitrambalam is Tiruvarur. Tiruvarur is a very important place. It has a very huge tank called Kamalalayam. Kamala Purasadanam Rudugadanam Kamaniyadanam Kamalavadanam Kamalalayam it is called. Small temple town. Large temple, and it is famous for a larger chariot. And it is the same hamlet that produced the three great visionaries of Karnataka Sangeetam, Tyagaraja, Muthuswami Dikshitar and Shama Shastri were born in the Kshetram of Tiruvarur. Muthuswami Dikshitar went on a sojourn across the length and breadth of the country. He acquired different tastes of music. So he got ragas like Jujaivanti, which is Grijavanti that we call. Ragas like Kannada Bhangala. Have you heard of the ragam Kannada Bhangala? Renuka Devi Samrakshitoham Anisham Venu Vadyadinuta Vijayanagara Sthite Manika Bhushani Madhura Rasabhashini Bana Sadrisakshini Parashurama Janani Kodatrayavasini Guru Buha Vishwasini Kannade Bhangale Gandharva. It's called Kannada Bhangala, this ragam. So Muthuswami Dikshitar had a very good exposure to the North Indian ragas. So he was born in Tiruvarur, he went on a sojourn. Shama Shastri, born in Tiruvarur, went to Tanjavur because he had his Ishtadevata called Bangaru Kamakshi. Tyagaraja, on the other hand, from Tiruvarur. There are a few other people born in Tiruvarur, not required for the speech. So, Tyagaraja Swami was born in Tiruvarur and he settled in Panchanadi Kshetram. There are 5 tributaries to Kaveri. Of course, I am very careful when I don't utter the word Kaveri when I speak in Tamil Nadu. Next minute they'll say bring Kaveri. I will be in a very tricky situation. So here Kaveri has 5 tributaries. Kudamurutti, Mudigondan, Arasalaru, they are called by different names. And amidst these flowing waters of Kaveri is a little islet called as Panchanadi Kshetram. Panchan Tamil chonna 5. Nadi means Aru, Ayyaru, Tiruvayyaru. So we call it Panchanadi Kshetram. And Panchanadishwara is the name of Shiva there. The Devi is called by a name. Any guess? Dharma Samvardhini. That is why Muthuswami Dikshitar sings Dharma Samvardhini Danuja Sammadhini. Tyagaraja says Nannu Kanna Talli Na bhagyama Narayani Dharmambike. So that is the kshetram where Tyagaraja spent most of his life. It is said that many generations before him, they were people who lived in the Telugu speaking region, and because of invasions and when Vijayanagara Samrajyam became very weak, they had to migrate further south and they settled in Tamil Nadu, and he composed most of his compositions in Telugu or Sanskritized Telugu. You will find one or two words of Telugu here and there. Balakanakamaya chela sujana paripala Shri Ramalola vidhuta sharajala shubhara karunalavala ghananila navyavana malika barana. Till now it is pure 100% 22 karat Sanskritam. Yela nidayaradu. Idi okate oka vakyam Telugulo. So he composed either in Telugu or heavily Sanskritam leaning Telugu. So there is as such no work called as Thyagaraja Ramayana. He has written two independent works. It is called Geya Natakam. It is musical drama. One is called Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam. Shri Ganapatini, Vasudevayani, Nannu Palimpa, Vandanamu Raghunandana. All this forms a part of that musical opera called as Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam. He talks about Prahlada's Bhakti. He talks about how Prahlada venerated and paid his obeisances to Paramatma. And finally, when he was tormented by his tyrant father called Hiranyakashipu, the Lord emerged from the pillar. Who is the Lord? Tyagaraja says Rama emerged. Ain't sariji. Bhagavatamlo Narasimha Devudu vastunnaru kada. See, in Tyagaraja, for Tyagaraja, everything was Rama. So from the pillar, Rama comes. So that is Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam for you. There is another opera. Any guesses? Very good. Tips. So, it is called Nauka Charitram. It is based on Krishna's conversations with the Gopikastris and how they ended up crossing Yamuna. Gandhamu Puyaruga, you must have heard. Gandhamu Puyaruga, Paniru Gandhamu Puyaruga. Idi Geya Natakamlo vastundi, ee sahitya. So there is no particular or independent work called Tyagaraja Ramayana. But in the last 100 plus years, great Vidwans like Annaswami Bhagavatar, Kamalamurthy, Embar Vijayaraghavacharya, Balakrishna Shastrigal, they have all built Tyagaraja krithis and have chronologically placed them, stating that Tyagaraja, though he may have not constructed an independent work called Tyagaraja Ramayana, it does amount to a Ramayana because he has not missed any of the important incidents. So, tracing the footsteps of our Purvacharyas, Purvacharya Surakshitam Bahumatim Vyadhata Durasthitam, says Ramanuja. Mahajano Yenagatis Sapanthaha. When Yudhishthira is asked by Yaksha, Kaf Panthaha, what is the way? Yudhishthira says there are many ways, but I will take the way which is trodden by. Robert Frost said, I will take the path less trodden by. In two roads diverged in a yellow wood, he said, I will take the path less trodden by. But our Purvacharyas believe that they should take the path which is more trodden by. You'll be sure you'll reach the destination. So taking their footsteps. Srimad Ramayanam begins. See, I cannot cover the entire Ramayanam. I hope 24,000 verses housed in 7 cantos, 500 plus chapters in 1 hour and 45 minutes is absolutely not possible from a primitive mortal like me. So I will just take some parts and excerpts of it. Srimad Ramayanam says that Valmiki was the one who bequeathed the power to see, compile and compose the Ramayana. Tapasvadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidambaram naradam paripapracha Valmikir muni pungavam. So the greatest of the sages called Narada, along with his Veena called Very good. Mahati. Narada's Veena is called Mahati. See, once they asked, which of these 4 options they gave is not the wife of Dasharatha? Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, Sita. The person said audience poll. That is the penetration of Ramayana knowledge in our general janta. Now what do? We all get so proud about Ram Mandir. First we have to read Ramayana. Ram Mandir is important, very beautiful. But we have to read the Pramanam also. So Narada Maharshi arrived with Mahati. And he asked Valmiki, what doubts do you have? I will clear. That is when Narada posed the series, a volley of 16 gunas. Konvasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmajñascha kritajñascha satyavakyo dridhabhrataha charitrena cha ko yuktaha sarvabhuteshu ko hitaha विद्वान का समर्थश्च कश्च एक प्रियदर्शनः आत्मवान को जित क्रोधः द्युतिमान को अनसूयकः कस्य बिभ्यति देवाश्च जातरोषस्य संयुगे. Who is that one person who is the repository of 16 auspicious attributes? That is when Narada said, Ikshvaku Vamsha Prabhavaha Ramo Nama Janaishrutaha. We are living in the times of a great person called Rama. But that is when Narada's Sishyas asked, sir, all these questions are posed by Valmiki. What is the greatness of Valmiki? Valmiki was earlier known to be in our legend as a dacoit. But doing rigorous dhyanam and austerities on Rama, he became a tapasvi. He was so intense in his austerities, he stood like a log of wood, that the termites constructed a hill over him. An ant hill, a termite hill in Sanskritam is called Valmikam. Since he emerged with the effulgence and the radiance out from the ant hill called Valmikam, he was called Valmiki. So this Munihi Mananashilaha Munihi. Muni means the one who keeps thinking. So this Muni emerged from the ant hill. Ant hill is called Bilaja. Bilaja ante ant hill. So Tyagaraja says, Karadhrita Sharajala Suramada Paharana Vani Surasura Varakavina Bilaja Mauni Krida Charitra Sannutashi Tyagaraja Nuta Jagada. See, the way we sing is based on Talam. If you have to split Karadhrita Sharajala, when Rama used to rain arrows, Sharanga Mudaita Sharamalai Pol. Exactly go. Like a shower of arrows. Karadhrita Sharajala. Who will it attack? Asura Madapaharana. He will bring down the arrogance of the Asuras. Avani Surat Suravana. So, to those people who are living on earth, such as the celestials or the Veda dwelling scholars, to them, Kavina Bilajamauni Krita Charitra. Valmiki. Correct? Note panniduva. Kavina Bilajamauni Krita Charitra. That Charitram which was written by Bilajamauni called Valmika Janita Valmiki is given to us. Next, Dasharatha Chakravarti did not have children for a very long time. He had a daughter. Now he wanted sons. Why, sir? Why can't he desire daughter again? Valid question. You should go and ask him. And some people will ask as if I decided the gender. Yes, sir. Our innoru punna kekala enniya kettu petunda. Avara poi neenga vaikundatha poi paathanga avaru vaikundatha poi paaran modala theriyala. Poyirna kettu solluva. So he desired sons. He requested Rishyashringa, his son-in-law, because his earlier daughter Shanta was married to Rishyashringa from Karnataka deshadavare. Kigga anta ondu grama ide, Shringeri atra. Kiggada Maharishi Vibhandakara Suputra Rishyashringa. So Rishyashringa is the man of this state. So he went and performed Ashwamedham and Putrakameshti for Dasharatha. It was a double advantage because if you ask your son-in-law to perform, the Dakshina will also rotate within the family. ಮಧ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮಿಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಏನು ವಿಚಾರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಾ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. So as the payasam emerged and it was distributed, eventually in the natural process when the women, the queens got pregnant and they delivered, 4 children were born. Rama to Kaushalya, Bharata to Kaikeyi, Lakshmana Shatrughna to Sumitra. Girvanair Arthyamano Dashamukha Nidhanam Kosalesh Vrishya Shunge Putriyam Ishtimishtva Dadushi Dasharathaksma Bhrite Payasagryam Tad Bhuktva Tad Purandhrishvapi Trishu Susamam Jatagarbha Sujato Ramastvam Lakshmanena Swayam Athabharatena Api Shatrughna Namna, says Bhattadri Narayani. So 4 children were born. So he had to be given a name. On which day do you give the name? If it's the US, you have to give it on the day the child is born. Forget we are an Indian citizen till now. When, which day? 11th day. But Valmiki says 12th day. Because for Kshatriyas, Manu has written the 12th day the Namakaranam should be done. So on the 12th day, Vasishta, who was a Purohita, came and gave a name for Rama. See, generally now it's become a big competition. Sir, suggest one name that nobody has given. Yaar itte bar. Ahalya, these are names I can take. So we have to find some names because nobody wants. If I tell Srinivasan, sir, in our house there are 4 Srinivasans. What to do? So in those days, even if there were 4 Srinivasans, they knew how to give a prefix. Idu Asatichima. So people don't want to use names. But Dasharatha did not lay any such condition. Most kings were very educated those days. So he never laid any such condition. He said, Vasishtha, you decide. Vasishtha said, let us give the name Ram. Rama. Ramanamamkitam Chedam. So Rama was the name given to him. Kalyananam Nidhanam Kalimathamathanam Pavanam Pavananam. It was a very short name. For those days, some names are very long. Aparyaptamrita, Sarva Praharanayudha, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Try giving this name. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Or Sarva Praharanayudha. You have to join 2 application forms and write. So he was given the name Rama. Very easy. He was Dasharatha's son, D. Ram. But there was an earlier Ram who had not acquired a great name. He was J. Ram, Jamadagni's son Ram, Parashurama. He had killed many people, lot of cases against him. But still Dasharatha said it is okay, the name is good. How does it matter? We have one N. Ram also. So, Shukanudaya Dina Bandhave Sakala Lokadaya Sindhave Namo Namo He was known by his ancestor called Raghu. So he was called Raghava. Since he had the valor in him, he was called Veera Raghava. Since he emerged victorious, he was called Vijaya Raghava. On either sides of Chennai, you have 2 Divyadeshams, Tiruputkuri and Tiruvallur, that celebrate Veera Raghava and Vijaya Raghava. Namo Namo Raghavaya, says Tyagaraja. See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the mothers gain a lot of importance. Oruthi maganai pirandu oriravil oruthi maganai ulidu valara. Devaki and Yashoda go to such heights of fame. In Srimad Ramayana, it is the father who is celebrated. Dasharatha, he's called Dasharathi. Sundara Dasharatha Nandana Rama Sundara Dasharatha. Dasharatha made different kinds of cars stand in different directions. Whichever side Rama turns, that side car he should be taken. If he turns this side, BMW will. This side, Tesla will. So, Rama was the son of, he was an aristocrat, Chakravarti, Thirumagan, says Rajaji. He was born with such grandeur, pomp. Yet, making prasadam for Rama is the easiest. You have to make buttermilk, and jaggery water, panakam. Krishna, on the contrary, was born in the middle of the night in a jail. 32 different bhakshanams we make for him. Which is called Vilupta Murdhanya Lipikramanam. The one who was born in the middle of the palace, buttermilk. The one born in a jail, 32 bhakshanams. Sundara Dasharatha Nandana Rama Vandanamo Nidinchira Rama Pankajalochana. Yeah, eyes of Rama. Every poet will say it is looking like the petals of the newly blossomed lotus. It looks like the lotus. I'm not making any political statement. So, Pankajalochana. Pankajalochana. Even when Shurpanaka's nose was chopped, she is bleeding. She goes and tells her half brothers, Kharadushana, my dear brothers, look at my nose. You know who did this to me? That lotus petal eyed Rama did this to me. Will you even with your best of senses reprimand someone this way? Yaar sir ungala aranja hero mari Pankajalochana Dharajayankamuna Velam Yuga Kani Sundara Dasharatha. So as these children were born after such a long time, they were treated with such love and affection. The children had to be put to sleep. Kaushalya tried going to classes of music. Lambodara Lakkumikaro Keraya Neerannu. Neeridre? Adhe ivaga problem allu. Kerege Challi. Taking water from the lake and pouring it. First there should be water in the lake. Varaba padeda varante kaniro hariya karuna dolada Kamala jadala vimala sunayana kari varada karunamu varavina mrudu Padi vanaru halochana rani. Kaushalya attempted. She went to her music classes. Teachers said, stop. Bas kar. Isse zyada main jhel nahi sakta. Kaushalya, bas kar. Kaushalya said, then how will I sing? You outsource. When you can't do it, outsource. Kisko karungi? You go to some site, you ask Sarvajna Alexa. She knows everything. When we get moksham also, Alexa will know. Alexa, I go moksham going in the rende na. So, whom should I search? That is when in her search, one vendor who could supply. Her requirement was lullaby. So one vendor was Tyagaraja. Number 9, Tiruvayar Cross Street, Tiruvayar Main Road, Tiruvayar. So she outsourced. From Uttar Pradesh, she outsourced. She said, I will give it to Tamil Nadu. So, immediately Tyagaraja said, Hindi theriyadu. T-shirt lam potirukka. Fikar mat kijiye Tyagaraj. Ab Telugu mein गाइए कन्नड़ या तेलुगु चलेगा शय्याट पाटलनु सत्सर्वभौमा उय्याललुगवैया श्रीराम उय्याललुगवैया. Tyagaraja says, I've constructed such a beautiful mandapam and such a beautiful cradle that is gilded in gold and studded in gems. The sapphires of Sri Lanka, the rubies of Myanmar, the opals of Australia, the diamonds of Kimberley, the corals of the barrier reef, the pearls of Tuticorin. They've all been laid so beautifully to make a cradle for me. Navamohanangulaina Surasadulu Vivaramuga Padaga Na Bhagyama Navaratna Mandapamuda Thyagaraja Vinuta Kriti Bunina Shirama Uyala Lugavaya. It's a beautiful lullaby that is being sung. See, Ramayanam doesn't mention of a lori like this. You call it the lori or lullaby or talat. Of course. See, when you give the same project to one vendor, there could be accusations that you have actually favored one. So most companies, they will distribute it into different parts and give it to 2-3 vendors. So Kaushalya was very, very intelligent. She gave one project of the lullaby to Kulashekar Alvar. She said, let Tamil also come. Manapugal Kausale Tan Manibai Tennilangai Kwan Mudigai Sindhu Bidai Shem Kanninan Madil Pudai Shur Karnapuratin Karimaniye என்னுடைய இன்னமுதே ராகவனே உய்யாலூரவையா ஸ்ரீராமா. The children were a glaring and a very positive, a blatant example of how Saubhratritvam should be, fraternity should be, brotherhood should be. So these children grew in such love. So actually, if you look at Ram Leela, the pastimes of Rama, the exploits of Rama, there is none. Because he was a very disciplined child. A disciplined child will never have cherished memories. Because you keep listening to your parents. என் பையன் நில்லுனா நில்லுமா உட்காருனா உட்காரு. எந்த குழந்தை பாடா படுத்ததோ, the teacher will remember that badge with that child. If you are a very disciplined boy, nobody will remember. So that is why there is Krishna Leela. By the time he was 12, he danced on a snake, he lifted the mountain, he danced in the middle of the night with the women, he killed many asuras. Lot of FIRs on him. Putana, Shakata, Pralamba, Keshi, Bhagenuka. Many. Whereas Rama, very disciplined. Whatever his parents say, he will do. So there is nothing called Rama Leela except that Maidan. There is one Maidan in Delhi. Ram Leela, Maidan mein Sangharsh hoga. So when Rama was a running 11, so there is a lot of debate on that age. He was not exactly 12, he was running 11. So the 11 had to get over, and then while he was 12 is when he got married. Sita was 6. Clearly it is established by all our Purvacharyas, the 6 commentators to Ramayana. The 6 commentators to Ramayana are Maheshwara Tirtha, Govindaraja, Madhava Yogi, Nagesha Bhatta, Trayambaka Makhin and Shiva Sahaya. The 6 commentators with 6 grand commentaries on the entire compendium of 24,000 verses have arrived that Rama was not 12 exactly while he was married, Sita was 6. And in 5 occasions in the Ramayana, Sita herself says, Maricha says, Lakshmana Vakyam is there, Kaushalya's Vakyam is there, and Dasharatha's Vakyam is there to establish this age. So you don't have to take the efforts to fact check me going to Quora.com. It's well established. That's it. While Rama was running 11, that is when the father was worried. Darakriyam Prati, my son is not yet married. Father was worried when son was 11. By then our son is studying shoot system, root system. What is plumule, what is radical. 5-mark question he studies. By then father was worried. Darakriyam prati. That is when Vishwamitra barged in. He said, I need your son's assistance. Dasharatha resisted. He said, you're asking the apple of my eye. How can I send Rama? I cannot send. And Dasharatha swooned, his BP came very low. Some 90 by 60 or something. Then immediately they got some gold spot. You remember gold spot? Bovanto? Very well, very well. And then they sprinkled on Dasharatha. And Dasharatha woke up, Kya hua? Main kahan hu? So that is when Vasishta said, Aap jidhar the wahi hai. So, while I used to be working in Bombay, I used to stay in Matunga. My workplace was in Vikhroli. My work floor was the 7th. And when you manage your office timings in a certain way, you end up seeing the same set of people in the elevator. Same set. Because you go around 7:45 and see the same person. He'll smile. That's okay. Then he'll ask, where are you staying? Matunga. Next day, Matunga. Third day, he said, I have not changed my residence. So, Dasharatha swooned. Then he woke up, he said, I can't send Rama. Then Vasishtha said, Vasishthopi Mahatejaha Yeche me tapasi sthitaha, says Valmiki. Even Vasishtha, who was at loggerheads with Vishwamitra, said, don't worry, send your son with no fear, with a great Brahma Rishi called Vishwamitra. Whatever you were worrying about your son shall be accomplished. What was he worrying? Marriage. That will be accomplished. Is free matrimony. You don't have to go 5 feet 9 inches, roggy complexion, weak complexion, clean habits, only never eligible. We want a similarly thinking Brahma Srishti girl. We want her to have got the charter after clearing the 3 levels of CFA. She should be working in the big 4, preferably in the middle management. She should. With all this, we have no other conditions. So, Dasharatha did not have to do all of this. So, Vasishta said, send your son. So, Rama along with Lakshmana went into the forest. As they went into the forest, Tataka Vadham was over. Next was he had to protect the sacrifice. That is when Tyagaraja says, Pasitanamu ande muniyagamuna ni baguparakramamuno yerungana Raaga shashivadana bhaktajanavana Raaga shashivadana ante the face of a one who looks like the full moon which is blemishless. See, as such moon has craters. Kalank hota hai. That's why we call him Shashanka. We believe that a rabbit went and hid itself. Mona vidi kanal nani vanamadi manam manji mulanadan shadai ponado nin kudalile mulanadan shadai ponado, says Uttukadu Venkata Kavi. Looking at Krishna's face, the deer and the rabbits in the forest, unable to take the embarrassment of seeing a man with such beautiful eyes, went and hid themselves in the moon, so moon has craters. Tyagaraja says, if at all there is a blemishless moon, that is Rama's face. Sashivadana bhaktajana vana shankarane talagalana. Rama, talk to me. See, Tyagaraja's treatment to his Sahityam will always be very personal. He will say, Rama, I have been praising you so much, yet you don't seem to make time to talk to me. Talk to me. He says, I would like to see your face. He's extremely melancholic. He's so sorrowful, Rama is not talking to him. But the beauty is, today we have been told by certain Brihaspatis that you don't have to know the meaning of Sahityam and you can sing. It is a sorrowful song. If you don't know Telugu, learn it. Pasitanamu ante young boy. See, Rama was barely 12, right? Pasitanamu ande. Even if he was young, he was able to defeat Maricha and Subahu. Tyagaraja has studied the Valmiki Ramayana in such detail because later when Ravana seeks the intervention of his uncle called Maricha to go as a gem-studded golden deer to lure Sita, Maricha warns Rama. He says, when he was at the age of 12, being a young boy, he hit me this far. Now he seems to be married to Janakatmaja, the daughter of Janaka, Sita. He will be all the more powerful. If he hits me now, I don't know which planet I will go to. So he was young, says Maricha. That is why Tyagaraja says, Pasitanamu ande muni yagamunani. So he went to the Muni Yagam. Bahu no yerungana. Raaga Shashivadana. Raaga Shashi, full moon Chandra. You know what is a ragam? What is the ragam of this kriti? It has moon in it. Very good, Chandra Jyoti. So now, Rama, after having killed Subahu, he drove away Maricha. And then, as he was going away, why did he leave Maricha? He should have killed Maricha also. Only 2 people were there. Will you leave balance in that also? See, when the mother or the father serves 2 chapatis, one, the child leaves when chapati is balanced. Because as per Jyotishya Shastram, if you are born on the Navami Tithi, you will have the slesham, the dosham of leaving something in balance. So stay till the Upanyasam is over today. Don't leave it halfway. Then you will prove your Tithi date. Munisavambu juda ventajani kalamari chadula hatambu jesi broche varevare. Munisavambu ante the yagam conducted by Muni, who was Vishwamitra. Juda ventajani kalamaricha dulu. Kalamaricha means the one who was very wicked, very sly, very cruel, very crooked. Kalamaricha dula hatambu jesi, the one who initially spared Maricha and killed him later. Broche varevare, says Tyagaraja. So after this yajna samrakshanam, Rama, he walked further and he had to head back to Ayodhya. His internship was only for 6 days. He had to go back to Ayodhya. But Vishwamitra thought that these 2 young boys, without even arguing or without even seeking any justification, came behind him, executed whatever he had commanded and received nothing in return. See, in the last 30 years, what have we learned in Atiti Satkaram? There is something called return gift. With your Saukumarya Padam, you have come to our house. You have had our food. For that, we have to gift you. நம்ம சாப்பாடு சாப்பிட்டதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது கொடுத்தே கொடுத்துட்டு பொதுவாக என் சாப்பாடை யாரும் சாப்பிட மாட்டாங்க. நம்ம சாப்பாடை நீங்க சாப்பிட்டு கேடே உங்களுக்கு என்ன கொடுத்தா தரும். So we give return gift. But somebody said return the gift. So whatever they have given before, அதே திரும்பி கொடுத்துட்டோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஐயோ இது நான் கொடுத்த பாத்திரம் ஐயோ உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துட்டேனா அவருக்கு கொடுக்கணும்னு நினைச்சதை கொடுத்துருவேன். So this is called rotation of gifts. That will happen during Navaratri generally. So Vishwamitra wanted to gift something to Rama and his younger brother Lakshmana, but he did not know what to gift. He was a very rich man. He was a Kshatriya, Kaushika, but now he was a Brahma Rishi. That is when he got one message. मिथिला में शिव धनुष की पूजा हो रही है. Vishwamitra ji, you are invited. Avashyana RSVP. Manda Sandosham, Arlena Rupa Sandosham. They used to give, and most Rajas were very careful with Vishwamitra. They will send a message. He was like Subramanian Swami. Putala case Putuvar, Pupalena. So he said, okay, let me take Rama and Lakshmana along. He sensed that something good will happen. Some nimittam said, something good will happen. So he took these two young boys along, had a diversion, metro construction. So he took a diversion and went into Mithila Desham, Videha Desham. The capital was Mithila. In the outskirts of Mithila was a place called Mithilopavanam. And that is where there was this ashramam of an erstwhile rishi called Gautama. Gautama had married the Manasika Putri of Brahma called Ahalya. And Ahalya had a extramarital relationship with Indra. Indra was cursed, so was Ahalya. So Gautama left, deserted the ashrama and proceeded towards the hills and the waters of Godavari in Maharashtra. So the lady had to seek remorse while performing tapasya in her ashrama. On the other hand, their son was called Shatananda. Shatananda was the Kulapurohita of Janaka. So Rama saw this ashrama which was smeared in dust and cobwebs. He asked Vishwamitra, whose ashrama is it? And that is when Vishwamitra narrates what all transpired between Gautama, Ahalya and Indra. And says that there is a tapaswini called as Ahalya there. Some accounts state that she was cursed to be a stone. But that is very poetic in description. See, in local parlance, if somebody is heartless, merciless, we ask, Kal Nenjama. It doesn't mean the rock has literally gone into a Shylock who asked for a pound of flesh closest to the heart without a drop of blood. In which work does it come? So, that said, she was cursed to be adrishya, not visible to people, which literally means people will not frequent the ashrama. As she was doing tapasya, seeking remorse for her thought, that is when Rama entered the ashrama. Darini Shilagai Tapamuta Lakavaramu Kanniruno Ralchaga Shura Ahalyanu Jochi Brochi Divi Ariti Dhanyu Seyave Tyagaraja Geyama Shri Rama Padamani Kripa Chalume Dharini Shilagai Tapamu Talaka. Rama was not able to withstand the pain that she was undergoing. Varamu Kannirunu Lalchaga. When the dust that emanated with the majestic elephant-like gait of Rama spread on Ahalya, she got Shapa Vimochanam. Namastasmai Kasmai Chana Bhavatu Nishkinchana Jana Swayam Raksha Diksha Swayamadhika Samindhana Yashase Suradhisha Swairakshana Kupita Shapa Yudavadu Drishatta Durjata Prashamana Padambhoja Rajase, says Vedanta Deshika and Abhay Pradhana Saram. The dust from his paduka gave Ahalya Shapa Vimochanam. So as she got Shapa Vimochanam, she did Abhishekam to Rama's feet with her tears. Kannirunu Lalchaga. Shura Ahalyanu, the lady who had the courage to withstand so many challenges in her life. Shura Ahalyanu. Juchi Brochi Tivi. First he looked at her. Juchi Brochi Tivi. Then he forgave her, gave her emancipation. Juchi brochi tiri ariti. In the same way, Tyagaraja says, Dhanyu seyave. Rama, why can't you treat me like Ahalya 2.0 and give me vimochanam? Ariti dhanyu seyave Tyagaraja Yeyama Shri Rama Padamani Kripa Jalune Chittani Kirave. So he gave vimochanam to Ahalya. The moment this was, media was there even then. Immediately the news was told to Gautama. Gautama visited the ashramam and it was a beautiful family reunion. In Srimad Ramayanam, our Purvacharyas state, even before something auspicious occurs to him, Rama will ensure that that auspicious event occurs to somebody else. Even before Rama Pattabhishekam happened, Paduka Pattabhishekam, Sugriva Pattabhishekam and Vibhishana Pattabhishekam happened. Even before Rama was married to Sita, he brought Gautama and his estranged wife Ahalya together. Some people have this happiness in buying gifts for others. They won't buy anything for themselves. They love buying for others. Rama similarly loved to see people around him happy. That is why he brings happiness by bringing the together. Niravadhi sukhada nirmala rupa nirjita muni shapa. Nirjita muni shapa. By getting Ahalya out of that muni's curse, he got happiness. Niravadhi sukhada nirmala rupa nirjita muni shapa. Why did he have to do so many things one after the other in 1 week? He killed Tataka, he killed Subahu, he drove away Maricha, he protected the sacrifice of Vishwamitra, he gave Shapa Vimochanam to Ahalya. Why? He needed a CV to be given to Sita. Before all of this, what was his achievement? Listens to parents. She will not marry. The beauty is, in Srimad Ramayanam of Valmiki just says, Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravattate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Daivamanhikam. One interpretation is Vishwamitra said, Rama, wake up. It's time. Get up. You have to do your kartavyam. You have to do your karma. Wake up. That is interpretation 1. Interpretation 2, the great stalwart Anantarama Dikshitar used to state. It was not a reminder for Rama that Vishwamitra was giving. He told Rama, I have woken up. The sun is going to rise. I don't know in Tamil Nadu if it will. So, the sun is going to rise. So, I have to give argyam to the sun. But I am so fortunate, I am so blessed that I see the one who is within Surya Mandalam Narayana in front of me. Dhyayas Sada Savitri Mandala Madhyavati Narayana Sarasijasana Sannivishtaha. That Narayana whom I give argyam to is seated next to me as Rama. So today I was just wanting to do something different, Rama. Instead of giving argyam to Surya, I want to give my argyam to you. For me to do my duties, you have to wake up. Kartavyam Daivamanhikam. This was Valmiki's approach to Vishwamitra waking up Rama. But Tyagaraja was in Kali Yuga, very smart. He said, if you say wake up, you have to do duties. Kaun uthega? Meluko vaiya. Wake up. Meluko vaiya mam yeluko. Rama meluko vaiya mam yeluko Rama. Rama will ask, right, why? Menaina Sita Sameta na bhagyama. Only if you wake up, you can be with Sita. Wake up. He woke up. Tyagaraja was very smart. So, then Rama walked. See, when they describe Rama's beauty in Srimad Ramayana, you feel as if he was a Nalli secondus. There was nobody like him. His beauty is so very well described in every shlokam of Srimad Ramayana. They say Kambu Grivam. There are 2 verses related to his neck. How beautiful his neck is. But neck 2 verses. In our house they will ask, one word you can complete and itself will tell that man is not parkable or purkable. So, how was Rama? Every verse in Ramayana stands out with such luxury, with such best of the words that have been strung together. His mukham is like full moon. His nasika, his nose is like the sesame flower. Yellu poo will come. I don't have a PPT or anything, you have to imagine. Like this, it will go down and see. Else you Google and see. That's how his nose will be. His lips used to look so healthy, as if the corals were ground into a fine paste and applied over his lips. Kobbai Shabbai. His hair. They spent alakalalladagakani, says Tyagaraja. When he used to walk, typical those shampoo advertisements have you seen? When as that model moves, the hair will also move. It will just bounce and it will just move along. That comes with the effect of so many rollers. But here Rama's hair was as such curly, effervescent, dark and resplendent. Chikuram bahulam viralam brahmaram mrudulam vachanam. So, alakalalladakatani. So, Tyagaraja says, see, Vishwamitra couldn't take his eyes off Rama. Every now and then he used to keep looking at Rama. Rama felt very embarrassed. See, thank God for nowadays, these Shatabdis, your seats are in one direction. The earlier Brindavan Express, you have to keep seeing. You can't even scratch your nose. So you won't get that sabbatical. So, here, Rama felt very embarrassed. Why is he looking at me? Ivvannam, nigandavannam, ininda ulagakkellam, uivannam annimattor, tuyarvannam, uruvadundo, மைவண்ணத் தரக்கி போரில் மழை வண்ணத்து அண்ணலே உன் கைவண்ணம் அங்கு கண்டேன் கால் வண்ணம் இங்கு கண்டேன், says Kamban, the Tamil poet. He says, what a beauty that is bereft of a blemish that I see in front of you. So Rama was extremely handsome. That said, he goes into the Sabha Mandapam of Janaka. Janaka has had a Dhanush Puja. So, even now during the Navaratri Samayam, we have this concept of worshipping what we generally rely on. First while it used to be the manuscripts, then it became books. Now all our books are in the iPad. So you have to keep the iPad near Saraswati. Where is Vishnu Sahasranam? In the iPad. Which will go for moksham? iPad. iPad will go for moksham. So the Vadyar has to come and do, the Purohita has to do the Karyam 12 days for the iPad. Because the chip inside that has gone for moksha. Because Vishnu Sahasranam is inside the chip, not inside our brain. நீங்க எங்க இருக்கீங்க மாமி? யூ பார்த்து சொல்றீங்க. எனக்கு உங்க அட்ரஸ் மாமி தெரியாது. கண்ணை முழிச்சிட்டு எந்த ஆத்துல இருக்கேனோ அதுதான் அட்ரஸ். So, ஆயுதம் doesn't necessarily mean weapon. It means an instrument of what your livelihood thrives on. So for a musician it could be instruments or books. Different things. For a surgeon it could be the surgical instruments. For a Kshatriya it is the Dhanush. Ultimately Dhanur Vidya was the highest amongst the Kshatriyas. So Janaka Maharaja had gotten beautiful bow that was used by Shiva, but that Shiva's bow had a crack, so Shiva said, I will dispose it off. See, most of the western countries where you've been to, You generally don't have takers for that product, so they will keep a very good product outside that house. Anybody can take it. So that is when Janaka said, Shiva said, what will I do with this bow? That is when it went to a king of Mithila Desham. And Janaka after Janaka. Janaka Shabdam is a surname. It is a title. Sita's father's name was Siradhvaja. Janaka is the title. He had a younger brother called Kushadhvaja. Kushadhvaja had two daughters, Mandavi, Shrutakirti. Janaka had a daughter whom he had adopted called Sita and a biological daughter called Urmila. So Siradhvaja and Kushadhvaja, they were called by the title Janaka. Since she was regarded as the beloved daughter of Janaka, she was called Janaki. She belonged to the city of Mithila, so she was Maithili. She belonged to the province of Videha, so she was Vaidehi. She was born as a result of the tip of the plow touching the casket, so Tasi had touched it. So reverse it, Tasi becomes Sita. She is found on Mother Earth, so she is regarded as the daughter of Mother Earth. Regarded. She was spotted on Mother Earth. Mother Earth is called by various names. Dharani, Prithvi, Avani, Kshti. These are all Amarakosha's words for Bhumi. Bhumi, Earth, has many names. Avani. So she is the daughter of Avani. Avanija. Ravi, Shashi, Kuja, Buddha, Guru, Shukra, Shanaishchara, Rahu, Ketu, Netaram, Rajakumaram, Ramam, Pavanajaptam, Avanija, Manoharam, Bhajare. Avani means Bhumi. The other word for Bhumi is Bhumi. So the daughter of Mother Earth is Bhumija. Bhumija Nayakam Bhukti Bhukti Dayakam Nama Kirtana Tarakam Naravaragatamaykam Ramachandram Bhavayami Bhumija Kshitija Ramanam Chintaye Shri Ramam Bhavataranam Kshitija. So Sita was spotted there. The worship was for Shiva's bow. It was non-usable because of the crack. So it became an antique piece in their house. So every year he used to do a puja for that Dhanush. It so happened that the invitees attended and the Dhanush puja was over. The Dhanush was placed back in its treasury. Vishwamitra arrived late with these two men, young boys. By then the bow had been placed back in its original place, back to pavilion. That is when Janaka said, Vishwamitra said, please show that bow to this Rama. He is a very good boy. Janaka felt, I wish he was my son-in-law. That was the thought, says Anantarama Dikshita. Just not him, even his brother. That is why he says, Imau Kumaro Bhadram Te Devatulya Parakramau Gadasimha Gadi Virau Shardula Vrishabhovamau Padmapatra Vishalakshau Khadgadunir Dhanurdarau Ashvina Vivarupena Samupasthita Yavvanau. So it is Dvivachanam. Two. He wanted both of them as their sons-in-law. But didn't spell it out. That is when Vishwamitra said, please keep that bow. Let Rama see. Vatsarama Dhanuf Pashya iti Raghavam Abravit. So Rama comes. So as he is about to lift the bow, he lifted it with ease. He could do it. Janaka was stunned. This little boy of just not even 12 years is able to handle this bow as if it was a toy. Rama wanted to string it. So you have to bend the bow, then tightly tie that string and string it. When he strung it, it broke into two. Rama has never done this before. He was very embarrassed. He's been to somebody else's place and breaks their own object. He said, Janak, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं ऐसा ही उठाया उसको, वो दोनों टुकड़े में, मैं क्या करूं? जनक बोली, फिक्र मत करो राम, मेरी बेटी से शादी। That came like a shocker. You break something and you marry in return. So Sita was told by her Sairandrika Stris. You know Sairandrikas? Naturals and green things. So they went and told Sita, Sita, congratulations. They tweeted on X at Sita Kongs. Sita, you're getting married. Mubarak. Sita said, I didn't know about it. Whom am I getting married to first? Who is that? Lately his decisions have not been very fruitful. So who is that boy? So they said, come. We're going to see somebody here. See, it's a very subtle thing. I'm sure there is a big concoction of both the young Astikas seated here and elderly people. So probably the elderly people can relate it to it more. So traditionally in marriages, the girl was asked to sit in a certain way. She has to hold her leg like this and she had to put her head down. Even if she was not shy, she had to pose as if she was shy. But she had to act as if she was shy. But Sita was truly shy. So she's asking her friends, where is he? There, can you see? The media is focusing all its cameras on Sita. So it became a big news. So Sita had to find a way to actually look at Rama. But she had to do it in a very, very intelligent fashion where even journalists, honest journalists, though both, it's an oxymoron, right? Honesty and journalism don't go together. But still, imagine that there were heydays of honest journalism. So, even the most intelligent of journalists shouldn't be able to spot her looking at Rama. So she had worn a series of bangles, many. Sita, I don't know how many of you know this, she hailed from Dakshina Bharat. See, I had a friend while I was working in Bombay, and then while she was getting married, she said, my marriage is happening in Kochi. If you don't come, Shalini will get angry. No, okay. Aarana Shalini. Avalana Shalini. Because in Malayalam, generally when you converse, they will put themselves in third person. Auntie kovam varu. Aarana auntie, auntie. So she will not say, Yanakku kovam varu. Auntie kovam varu. Aarana auntie. Avalana auntie. So she said, Shaliniku kovam varu Dushyanth Sridhar. You have to come to Kochi. I went to Kochi. I went throughout the marriage hall, I couldn't spot the girl. I asked her mother where she is. She said she's there. Then I removed all the jewelry and her face emerges from the jewelry that she had worn. So that way Sita belongs to Kerala. She has worn so much of jewelry. So much of jewelry. She had worn bangles, matte finish and both antique ones, with enamel coat. So she had worn so much. So she acted. See, this is all hyperbole in literature. You have to appreciate literature. See, the moment you start inducing logic inside literature, literature will lose its essence. In ancient literature, it was believed that if the man or the woman pine for each other, they are separated from each other, they keep thinking of each other, they'll become so thin in minutes. Forget Anjali Mukherjee. Forget quinoa and brown rice. It will happen in minutes. If you think of the other person and you're lost in love and you become thin, the bangles will keep flowing and come down because you become thin. In 2 minutes it will come down. So Sita wanted to see Rama but she couldn't see, so she was pining for him. So she became thin. As she did this, her bangles came down. So as those bangles were coming down, those Sairandrika trees were engaged in picking up those bangles and giving to Sita. In that gap of a nanosecond while they were picking the bangles up, with her corner glances, she saw Rama. Just that nanosecond, because nobody would have noticed. Because if the girls are picking up, the media will focus on them. They will all be focused on that. Nobody will look at Sita's corner eye glances which were looking at Rama. But she was not cognizant that Tyagaraja had taken note of it. Kala kala manu mukha palu galigina Sita kulu kujuno vora kannulanu Juche ninnu kana kana ruchira Kala kala manu mukha palu galigina Sita kulu kujuno vora kannulanu vora kannala patalavane avane pakum tarunam swarna niramana kana kana ruchira kana kava Tyagaraja saw. Now Rama was getting ready for the marriage, but remember it was an arranged marriage. Rama says Daraha Pitrikrita iti. When Janaka says, marry my daughter, you won Rama, congratulations my son-in-law. आज से मुझे पप्पा बुलाओ. आज से अंकल नहीं हूँ पप्पा. Rama said पप्पा कुछ नहीं है. मेरे पप्पा को टिक बोल करना है क्योंकि इस अवतार में I will listen to my parents. He was very clear. In this avataram I listen because next avataram, Krishna avataram, Yasho, Devaki will be clueless. Niyarma, Nanu unga maattu kondha. Endha room? 1000 ரூபாய் கிடைச்சாச்சா? இல்லம்மா என்ன அரசாங்கம் என்ன கொடுக்கலாமா? கொடுத்துருவார். So for this grand marriage, Tyagaraja says Parvati came. Sita Rama's Vivaham, Parvati came. But remember, as per our scriptures, it is only in Krishna avataram that we regard Parvati as the very sister to Krishna. After Krishna was born on Ashtami Tithi, Parvati was born in the Navami Tithi. So this Navami, since she is a sister in Krishna avataram, but our acharyas extrapolate this relationship to other avatarams also. So in Rama avataram also she is regarded as a sister to Vishnu. So when she received the news that Rama is getting married, for her it was a destination wedding. She was in Himalayas, so she had to she was flown to Janakpur and she was getting married. So she came with a parrot. Generally, queens of those days used to nurture a parrot. If you see Andal or Meenakshi, they will have a parrot. So she came with a parrot. She saw Rama, whose father Dasharatha had approved of the marriage, becoming very desperate to get married to Sita. He was walking very fast. The groom was walking very fast. He was in such high tensions that, tomorrow's marriage. That is when Parvati said, don't show that desperateness on your face. It doesn't look good. What will people think? You should come to that little groom. Ninnu judavachu Bhagini ante sister. Ninnu judavachu. That sister who had come to see you, Rama. Ninnu judavachu Bhagini karambu chiluka Manasuranjillani Mahimalanu paluka Minuvasulella Virulanu chala jiluka. Jiluka ante shower. There is a big shower of petals on you. Ghana Tyagaraju Kanukona Muddu Guluka Muddu. That charm in Rama's face was oozing. In Tamil we say Paal Vadiyum Mugam. Inga Alagu Vadiyum Mugam. Muddu Guluka. ಘನತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜು ಕನುಗೋನ ಮುದ್ದುಗುಲುಕ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕ ಹೇ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ. To sing slowly because he has to walk slow. Parvati says slow, slow. ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕ ಹೇ ಸುಗುಣ ಸಂದ್ರ. So he was getting married. Now, Tyagaraja being a Telugu Brahmana, I don't know if you've heard of a great community of Telugu people who settled around the Kaveri region. It is called Morakanadu. So, Tyagaraja still followed the rituals of a Telugu marriage. In typically a Telugu or a Kannada Astika wedding, amidst the rituals, there will be a ritual of drawing a screen between the both of them. In the Tamil marriage, it is not there. Whereas in the Telugu and the Kannada marriages, there is a paddhati of drawing a curtain in the middle. It is to slowly reveal the face of the bride and groom to each other. They should not be taken in for a surprise or a shock. Right? So slowly you have to reveal. తెలుగు భాషలో మధ్యాల్లో ఉన్న యవనికాకి మరుగు అంటే ఒక శబ్దం ఉంది. The curtain drawn is called marugu. So Sita is asking Rama, we have seen each other. Why do we need this marugu? Marugu yelara o raghava. Marugu yelara. Marugu మధ్యాల్లో ఉన్న యవనిక. ఏలరా వై. మరుగు ప్లస్ ఏలరా మరుగేలరా. మరుగు ఏలరా ఓ పర సూర్య సుధాకర లోచన. ఓ Rama, they think that you are a normal person. They don't know marugela charachara, chara achara, all those which are living and non-living, they form your body. Sura nara kaga go bhogi gandharva daityaihi chitram ram ramyadetam tribhuvana vapusham vishnumisham. The world, the universe is your body. Marugela charachara rupa. What are your eyes? People think it's lotus when you see it very closely. Surya, one eye represents the sun. Sudhakara, Sudha ante elixir, amritam. Sudhakara means Chandra. One eye is Chandra, one eye is Surya. Chandra Surya Uchanetre Kadir Madiyam Pol Mugattan Tingadum Adityanum Elundar Pol Chandra Surya Nayana Prameyava Gendra Janaka Sakalesha Shubhrana Gendra Shayana Shamana Vairi Sannuda Jagadananda Karaka. Surya Sudhakara. Two words. One is Surya, the other one is moon. Sudhakara. But when we sing, we have to split it in a different way. Parat para Surya Sudha Karalochana. We say Karalochana. It is Surya Sudhakara Lochana. See, splitting is slightly tough in Karnataka Sangeetam. If you have to follow the talam precisely, there is one small problem. Dinakaron Vayatilagam Divyagayadhi Sudasavana Vanarajita Subahu Mukha Vadham Ahalya Pavanam. Vadham Ahalya. Ahalya's Vadham is done. Actually, that Vadham should go to the previous sentence. Dinakaran Vayatilagam Divyagadhi Suta Savana Vanarajita Subahu Mukha Vadham Ahalya Pavanam. But there is a small hitch about Tadam there. Aganita Guna Kanaka Chela Sala Vidalana Arunabha Samana Charana Apara Mahima Adbhuta Sukalijana Gritsadana Suramuni Gana Vihita Kalasha Nira Nidhijaramana Nrisimha Papa Gaja Nrisimha Tyagaraja Dinuda. This is the way you have to split. Aganita Guna, the one who has got Gunam. Aganita, innumerable. Kanaka Chela, the one who adorns himself with gold-like dress. Sala Vidalana, the one who was able to pierce an arrow in the 7 Shala Vriksham. Sala Vidalana. The one whose feet resembles the redness, the red hue of the scarlet pimpernels or the rising sun. Arunabha samana charana. The one whose greatness is infinite, immeasurable, apara mahima. The one who stays within the hearts of good poets. Adbhutasu kavijana hritsadana. Sura munigana vihita. The one who is praised by Sura munis. Kalasha Neera Nidhija Ramana, the one who is the beloved of Mahalakshmi, who arose from the oceanic waters. Papa Gajan Nrisimhavara Thyagaraja Dinuta, the one who is the lion to break open the sinful Tyagaraja. Papa Gajan Nrisimhavara. Aganita Guna, Kanakachela, Sala Vidalana, Arunabha Samana Charana, Apara Mahima, Adbhuta Sukavijana, Ritsadana, Suramuni Gana Vihita, Kalashani Nidhija Ramana, Papa Gajan Nrisimhavara. But how do we sing? Aganita Guna, Kanakachela, Sala Vidalana, Arunabha Samana Charana, Apara Mahima, Adbhuta Sukavijana, Ritsadana, Suramuni Gana, Vida Kalashani Nidhija Ramana, Papa Gajan Nrisimhavara, Tyagaraja, Pudicha Poron. So, Marugela Chara Chara Rupa Paratpara Surya Sudhakara Lochana Marugela. So, who is he? Now you have to play with words. Tyagaraja was very intelligent. How he played? Janaka Jamatavai. Jamata ante emi? Son-in-law. Whose Mapilla is he? Janaka. Janaka Jamatavai. The son-in-law to Janaka. How patient is he? How porume arpara Mapilla? Janakanoda Mapilla? Rama? Yes. Like his mamiya. The son-in-law to Janaka is as patient as his mother-in-law. Who is his mother-in-law? Mother Earth. Who is Mother Earth? The mother of Sita. Janakaja Matavai. Janakaja. Janakaja means daughter of Janaka. Who is her mother? Bhumi. Janakaja Matavai. The other way is Janaka Jamatavai. Janaka Jamatavai. Janaka Jamatavai. Then he says, Janaka Jalamu Chalu Chalu no Hari Anupama Guna Buddhi. Now Tyagaraja in Tiruvayyaru Kshetram wanted to conduct Sita Rama Kalyanam. He went and inquired in 2-3 Kalyana Mandapams. They gave one list. Hall fees between 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Only. ONLY. So much amount plus 28% GST. Next, they said non-refundable deposit. If you use the elevator, 10,525 plus tax. If the current goes, the UPS generator will be on. For that per unit you have to pay so much. Tyagaraja checked his wallet. Empty. How will he go to that mandapam? So he said, I will choose another mandapam. He chose Dahara Akasham, his Hridayam as the Kalyana mandapam. The pulmonary vein and the aorta and the ventricle and the auricle and the capillaries were the Toranam. He constructed a beautiful platform and rested Sita and Rama sit on it. He thought, let me swing the swing for them. But then he thought, I am too primitive a mortal to do this. I don't think I am that qualified enough to even swing it. I have to give it to some person who is extremely adept enough to do it. As he took 2 steps behind, for the sake of Naichanusandanam, he hit on the whey protein gym body of Hanuman. He said, Hanuman, New Madi, because Hanuman is from Karnataka. He can speak Kannada. New Madi, sir. Me cheyandi, Tyagaraja Swami. No, I am not that qualified. So both of these bhaktas of Rama competed to swing for Rama and Sita in their marriage. Pavanaja Stuti Patra Pavana Charitra Ravi Soma Varanetra रमणीय गाथा सीता कल्याण राम कल्याण वैभोग में निगमागम विहार निरुपम शरीर नगधर कविधर नगलोकाधार परमेशनुत गीत भव जलधि पोष तरनिकूल संजात त्यागराजनुत सीता कल्याण राम कल्याण. After such a grand marriage between Rama and Sita, and similarly the other three brothers with Urmila, Mandavi and Shrutakirti, they reached Saketapuri, Ayodhya. Later when Rama was done with 24 years and he was about to turn 25, his father thought, let me coronate my son as the heir apparent. So, even if you are the son of a great king, it was not largely dynastic. You had to have that qualification in you to become the king. So when he asked his citizens, his praja, what qualification does Rama have to be the heir apparent? The praja said, he speaks very well. Communication. He doesn't hurt anyone. He gives the right amount of pauses. He speaks at a pitch which is very, very endearing to our ears. Sudha Madhurya Bhashana Sudha Madhurya Bhashana Sudha Karanana Durat Mulagu Bhukirata Kula Cheraranuchu Sundara Karani Parayanula Chelimira Kuru Tyaga Rajanutavo Parapara Suguna Sudha. Ain't Ragam idi? Which Ragam? Guess. It's called Sindhurama Kriya. It's a very rare Ragam deployed by Tyagaraja. Then finally you know about the turmoil of incidents. Manthara came into Ayodhya. She brainwashed Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi's brain was so easily washable. In 1.5 hours time she went against her very own son who accorded her so much respect. When Dasharatha came into her apartment, she sought 2 boons. With one boon she wanted her son Bharata to rule. The other boon she wanted Sita's husband. She didn't even want to utter Rama's name. In 1.5 hours time, look at the amount of vendetta and vengeance that she has borne against Rama. ஒரு வரத்தால் என் செய் பரதன் உலகாழ்வது மற்றொரு வரத்தினால் சீரை கேழ்வன் வரமாழ்வது என்று யாசித்தாள், says Kamban. Dasharatha already mild attack. So that is when Rama comes. See, Dasharatha himself says, all these years when people used to ask me about my children, I used to say I have a very obedient son, Rama. Today I feel sad that I have an obedient son. Had it been a disobedient son, Aram Bombe, this is what a normal son would have done. See, I have produced an obedient son. If I ask him to go to Dandakaranyam, the next second he will relinquish all his comforts and go, how unfortunate I am. He says, Satileni Mara Koti Lavanyuni Mara Koti Lavanyuni. Mara ante emi. Who is Mara? 300 telephone lines. Vanakkam. Who is Maran? Vanangudu. Manmatha is called Maran. Marakoti, it seems a crore cupids. If they come together also, a crore cupids, Manmathas, when they come together also, they cannot match Rama's beauty. Marakoti lavanyoni. So who is Rama? Peerless. He is unsurpassed. He doesn't have a match. Vattarum mikkarum illada mamaya, says the Alvar. There is no one who can equal or be greater than him. Vattarum mikkarum illada mamayan. Peerless. Sati leni. Sati leni. Marakoti lavanyuni. మాటికి చూచి మాట్లాడని తనకు ఏటి జన్మమీది. How can I live a life without seeing the beautiful face of my son? I will die the very next moment. And there was a curse that was lingering in his heart and mind of the parents, the blind parents of a boy who was shot down dead in his younger days. He was a tapasvi. What was his name? In Ramayana, there is no mention of his name. It is an acquired name later. Valmiki doesn't call him by the name Shravana Kumara. He calls him a tapasvi. So, Tyagaraja says, like how your father lamented over you walking to the forest and having to languish in the forest, Rama, even I am worried if you will go. Because in Tyagaraja's life, just a detour, his elder brother was very opposed to Tyagaraja's bhakti. So he threw all Rama idols into Kaveri. So he was the inspiration for a later leader in Tamil Nadu. So, Yeti Janmamidi Havo Rama. What is this ragam? Varali. You know, there is something very special about Varali Ragam. Generally, it was a belief that it should not be taught directly. Generally, in those days, they were never used to teach Varali. But Varali has some of the best compositions. Kavava, Kandavava, Yammai Kava, Velava, Shanmuga. Mama Meenakshi Raja Matangi Madhuravani Varali Veni. This ragam is Varali. Generally, it never used to be taught. But Tyagaraja has written, you know, one of the persons extremely responsible for the singing of Tyagaraja Pancharatna Kirtana in Thiruvaiyar is called Bangalore Nagaratnamma. Have you heard of her? So, she went and approached many Vidwans. I'm talking many, at least a century before. Or probably 3/4 century before. 80, 90 years before. She went and approached many Vidwans. They all said, see, we have never gathered together. The Pathantaram will be different. In one school they will ask you to drag here. In one school they will ask you to drag there. You have to sing together with no rehearsal. But still, she said, let us all get together. But this kriti called Kanakana Ruchira and Varali was a big obstacle because nobody had learnt it. But there was one great Mahavidwan called Maharajapuram Vishwamitra. He was the father of Santana. He said, I can teach, but I won't teach directly. So what he did was, he went to the first floor of a building and asked the students who wished to learn to go to the next building. He said, I will act as if I am singing for myself in my room. I am not teaching you all. If at all you can manage to hear from the next door, you learn. And that is how Kanakana Ruchira was learned. The entire kriti from Maharaja from Vishwanath Iyer, it was learned that way. So this Yeti Janma is also in Varali. Yeti Janma Midi Havo Rama Yeti. Then he said, nothing doing, Papa. I promised you I'll go to the forest. Even if you cry, I can just say don't cry. And he left. As he went to Sita, he said, Sita, I know we are married for 12 years. It takes a lot of courage. I'm leaving for the forest. Let's stay in touch. The world is small. We'll keep meeting. See ya. Mua. It's all about life. Sita said, why are you giving all this vote of thanks? Kyun de rahe ho? I'm going to the forest. What should I do? You stay in Ayodhya. With whom, Rama? With my mother. I better come with you. And all of them were suffering from good health. So, I better come with you. Sita said, Rama said, there will be animals in the forest. I am not worried. Ma kelara vicharamu, ma kelara vicharamu. Why should I worry? Marukanna Shri Ramachandra ma kelara. When you are there, why should I worry? No, Rama cannot say anything. If he says, illa kaila chumma da vechunga kadikalla. Na police car irundha. Sudala theriyadu. జగకూచిన టక సూత్రమును జగమెల్ల మెచ్చగ కరమును నీడి గతి తప్పక ఆడి చేదవు సుమినత త్యాగరాజ గిరీశ వినుతమ కేలరా. Why should I worry? Rama said, ठीक है, आ जाओ. So now as they exited their apartment, somebody caught their leg. Yori Gary. Who is this? His head was down. He didn't even wake up. Who are you? Adiya salachetagili nenu aati badina padambulanu. Aarti badina padambulanu. Even if I have to suffer in my life, I will take it, Rama. I will not leave your feet. See, Kulashekara Alvar says, Taruthuyaram tadayel un sharanallal sharanillai adishinattal indrattai ahattidinu. If you don't know Tamil, don't worry, I'll explain. Taruthuyaram tadayel un sharanallal sharanillai adishinattal indrattai ahattidinu. Imagine there is an altercation between the mother and the daughter. Some argument. When the girl is very little, the mother by mistake she just kicks the child. She can't do it, police will come, but she'll say that she kicks. By mistake she does it, but she's quite upset with the child. There is some fight. The girl gets really upset. From today you're not my mother. Tower B, A4 auntie is my mother from now. The child go, will that auntie first of all entertain? She won't entertain. She'll just come on a walk and say, hi beta, kaise ho, that's all. She won't do anything more. The real mother only will do. So Alvar says, like a child that is being rebuked or admonished by the mother, still goes back to the same mother asking for help. Child is shameless. The child will go back to the mother. Similarly, a bhakta will always go back to Paramatma. How much of a problem? Taruthuyaram taraye un sharanallal sharanillai arishinattal indrattai Kulashekara. See, I generally suggest to astikas wherever you go, learn as many languages as possible. The more languages you learn, the more you have resource to bhakti literature. If you learn Tamil, the Nalayana Divya Prabandham sits in front of you. You learn Kannada, Devar Namas come in search of you. You learn Telugu, Tyagaraja, Potanna. Alavai Kunthapurambulo, Nagarilo, Asaudambula, Palaparyankarama, Vinodadiyadagu. Pahi Pahi Aniguya, Linchi Samrambhiyai. Potanna in his Bhagavatam describes how the Lord comes. Telugu is so beautiful. You learn Marathi, Abhangs just dance in front of you. Rupa Pahata Lochani सुख झाले हो साजारणी तोहा विठ्ठल बरवा तोहा माधव बरवा तोहा विठ्ठल बरवा तोहा माधव. Feel as if you're actually walking your path to Pandharpur. Learn Tamil. Alvar says, வாழால் அறுத்து சுடினும் மருத்துவன் பால் மாளாத காதல் நோயாளன் போல். He gives an example. You're getting your entire series of tests done. Whatever instruments are there in that hospital, all utilized. CT scan, MRI, Doppler, all tests, CBC, nothing is left. You're taking your reports to the doctor. This is the minute where you'll feel actually the pinch. What is he going to circle? You'll now say, I think you have to undergo an open heart at the earliest. Fine, you have to live because you have to drop the grandchild to the school. So, you have to keep that Atma within you. So you say open heart, theek hai. You go pay the amount. Next day, the surgeon, the head surgeon who's going to do it, very well known to you, he comes and says, okay, everything done, shaving and all done, okay, now bring him to the operation theatre, everything is done. Now, that surgeon remembers the previous day's pravachanam, ahimsa paramo dharma. Nobody should be physically assaulted. He doesn't pick up the instruments, he says, ahimsa paramo dharma. Sir, why did you stop? No, I should not hurt you physically, that's absolutely wrong. What will Menaka say? What will Barkha say? So, what will Rajdeep shout in night? So, kuch nahi kar sakta hu. Sir, I will give you 2 more lakhs. Cut me open. So, the only person whom you pay to cut you open is the doctor. Why? With the belief that whatever he does for you is for your good. You are letting him cut you open because you believe he's going to do good to you. After you revive and recoup, in a party you will tell people, Angarkar Parma Surgeon, Avaran Arutare, and the surgeon Avaran. So Alvar says, you fall in love with the surgeon who has assaulted you for the belief you have in him. Trust Narayana, when he gives you problems, he does it for your good. வாழால் அறுத்து சுடினும் மருத்துவன் பால் மாளாத காதல் நோயாளன் போல். So here Sita says, Gatita pakam ஆடிஞ்சேதோ சுமி. Here, ஆத்திபடின பதம்புலனு. The one who has fallen at the feet of Rama and Sita says, even if you give me problems, I'll be at your feet. Get up, Baba. Kaun ho tum? He got up. And his name was written Lakshmana. Rama said, what duties will you do? I will be your watchman, I will be your royal guard. What identity do you have in you to become the royal guard? Rama, when somebody talks about your valor and prowess, I get goosebumps. Romanchamane ghana kanchukamu. అవునా లక్ష్మణ, తర్వాత చెప్పు. మా పక్క ఒక టాటూ ఉంది రామ. టాటూ ఏంటి అది? టాటూ రామ భక్తుడను ముద్ర బిళ్ళయు. Lakshmana, you said there are 3 markers with you. Yes, you get horripilation. Yes, you have the tattoo. What else? Ramanama mane varakagamivi. I got a weapon. Lakshman don't have a weapon. Bombay somebody had, he went to jail. Ramanama mane. I got your name as my ayudham. Ramanama mane romanchamane ghana kanchukamu Rama bhaktudanu mudra villayu. Ramanama mane varakagami virajillu nayya Thyagaraja nike bandurite kolu viyavayya Rama bandu. Bandu ante guard. I want to be your guard. Bandurite kolu viyavayya Rama Rama ಮದದುಲ ಕೋಟಿ ನೆಲಗುಲ ಜೇಯು ನಿಜ ಬಂಟು ರೀತಿ ಕೊಲು. So Lakshmana said, Bhabhi, I will mop, I will wash your utensils, I will do the dishes, I will cut the vegetables, I will bring the fuel, I will construct the ashrama. Sita said, isko mat chhodi. He is ready to do everything. Yaara aadu uduvaadu ashadda mutu mandurugonna oda pandrengra adella paathan techu podrengra. That is when people asked, Lakshmana, you are leaving the comforts of Ayodhya and you are going behind these two, that man and his wife. They don't even know where they are going. Enge sollum the padri. Why do you want to go behind them? See, Ayodhya Samrajyam, you get the best of food. First, most important thing is food. You get the best of curds, A2. Good milk, pure ghee, desi ghee. You will get none of it in the forest. Are you ready to go behind them? That is when Lakshmana says, Dadhinavanita Kshiramulu Ruchiyo Dasharathi Dhyana Bhajana Sudharasamu Ruchiyo Nija Mugapalku Manasa Nidhi Chala Sukhama Ramuni. Will this Nidhi be important to me? Ramuni Sannidhi Seva Sukhama. I don't want this Nidhi. I want Rama's Sannidhi. Tyagaraja has spelled out his Rama Bhakti so openly. And today we have so-called Vidwans who question Tyagaraja, who question Tyagaraja's Bhakti and say that you don't necessarily have to have Rama Bhakti to be singing. It is okay about singing any person who has garlanded Rama with a chappal mala. This is not admissible. This is not Shastriya Sangeeta. We should get rid of those narratives that say, oh, for Carnatic music, it's just the music. It's not the lyrics that matter. Then sing some other genre of music. Sing Pink Floyd and sing Rammstein. You are not fit to touch Tyagaraja and Purandaradasa until and unless you swore your allegiance to Sanatana Dharma. How can you speak ill of a Devata that Tyagaraja has venerated? Tyagaraja wrote all of this and sang all of this. He died like a pauper. You make lakhs by singing his krithis and you have the audacity to disrepute him and call him names. That is not admissible. You may get an award, but you stand as an accused in the court of Sanatana Dharma. That is what Tyagaraja said. So, Tyagaraja wrote one very intelligent Sahityam. Sangeeta Jnanamu Bhakti Vina Sanmargamu Galade Manasa. You will get Sangeeta Jnanam. You will be extremely technically correct. Tala Jnanam will be there. You know how to do Grahavedam. You will know how to go from difference between Nayaki. You can go to Yaman from Kalyani. You can do Dvit Talam. You can do Talam in both your hands. Excellent. Technically you will be good. But when you do not believe and respect the composers and the devatas that they have venerated, you fall somewhere down. Nana deshagallalli, nana bandhugallalli, nana yonigallalli, nalidu hutti, nanu nannedu emba ನರಗದೊಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದು. Actually, Vedakudi Krishnan Swami's father, Varadacharya, used to state, if at all, in those days, if people fall into the wells of Coimbatore, in Coimbatore, the wells will be very deep. If you fall, Raji, it will be so deep. ನಾನು ನನ್ನೆದು ಎಂಬ ನರಕದೊಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ನೀನೇ ಗತಿ ಎಂದು ನಂಬಿದ ದಾಸನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನುದಯ ಬಾರದೆ. That is when they all go to the forest and Bharata comes. He says, I don't want a Rajyam where Rama is not there. See, Ramayana was idealistic. Rama said, Papa says no Rajyam, he went. Lakshmana said, how can I leave my brother alone? He went. Bharata said, no, when Rama is not given the Rajyam, I will not rule. So he asked Shatrughna lastly, Shatrughna, you take up. Shatrughna said, see, when one product is rejected by 3 people, Ayodhya Rajyam, Rama said no, Bharata said no, Lakshmana said no. See, generally, let's say we go to and I'll speak for my mothers and sisters here, let's go to a sari shop. Then he put some 2 kalamkaris with paithani and 2 sambalpuri ikat and maybe a muga silk. Okay, and then kalamkari print, and then you may get Arani or Darasuram. With starch it becomes Kanchipuram. Right, and then you may go to Patola to get inspired from the Rani ki Baab. Then some Kani silk from Kashmir. And you finally select 2 or 3, and somebody comes along to the shop and they too pick up this, and then finally they reject. You'll be worried, what should I take this, because they have rejected. So Shatrughna says, how can I take the Rajyam that has been rejected by 3? Bharata's bhakti was greater than Lakshmana's, says Tyagaraja. Lakshmi Devi Valachuna Lakshmanundu Koluchuna Sukshma Buddhigala Bharatudu Juchi Solasuna Mayapparama Bhakti Gento Gopara Mayappa, my father, Appappa. Elagunnadi bhakti. Then finally, when Bharata did not budge to go back to Ayodhya, Rama said, take my padukas. Adiroharya padabhyam paduke hemabhushite. Bharata wiped his tears and took Paduka Devi home. My great Acharya Vedanta Deshika has written 1008 verses on Padukas called Paduka Sahasram. So Tyagaraja says, Rama, I have a doubt. He ain't said doubt to it. Is your pair of feet that is akin to the tenderness of the lotus petals that is being venerated by the Sanat Kumaras, is that great? Or the Padukas that were taken by Bharata greater? He says, Nanda Chita Padayugamulu Melo Nagarika Magu Paduka Yugambulu Melo Sandehamunu Tirpu Maya Saketa Nilaya Ramaya Saketa Nilayavasa, you clear my doubt. Rama said, I will. Paduka Pattabhishekam is over. Tyagaraja said, I am extremely impressed, Rama, with your demeanor. Rama said, I am extremely impressed with your Sahitya. Rama asked, what after Paduka Pattabhishekam? Tyagaraja said, there is no time. So I am extremely thankful to Sandhya Raaga for having announced. And so we had many astikas across the city who wanted to attend to the lecture, but I was strictly told that the premises has a lot of rules and we need to adhere to the rules. So it's largely meant for astikas within the premises. So I respected that. So we didn't have many astikas coming from the city except for a few handful. Extremely thankful to the L&T South City residents, the astikas and the Bhagavatottamas here. From diverse languages. I'm sure there'll be Tamil speaking astikas, Kannada speaking, Malayalam speaking, Telugu speaking, maybe even people who do not speak the South Dakshina Bharatiya languages like Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi should be here. So I'm extremely thankful to all the Bhagavatottamas for having sat through this lecture. The takeaway from the lecture is all our Bhagayakaras like Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa, Tyagaraja, Dikshitar, they were not crorpatis. See, Purandaradasa was hugely rich, but when he became Purandaradasa, he left all his comforts. So they all led a very, very simplistic life, which was actually very close to being a destitute. But they all wrote the Sahityam out of bhakti. That was the only element for them. Today we all patronize and we all venerate classical Sangeetam. It is not enough to just be technically correct. You should be extremely respectful to these composers. That shows your kritagnyata, your gratefulness towards us. All our Purvacharyas, Lakshita, all the musicians who have come in the past, they may have their pluses and minuses, that's okay. But they are to be respected. You don't dig into the past, go into some great musician's personal life and then speak statements which the person can't defend. The world knows Shastriya Sangeetam through various names, and one such name is M.S. Subbulakshmi. So we have to be very respectful when we even utter their names. Leave alone, getting into their personal lives and casting questions on them. So every practicing child, youngster, elderly person, musician should make note of this so that we don't have any more such works coming up in Carnatic world. With this, I would like to thank all of you. Pavamana sutudu patu padare vindamulaku ninama rupamulaku nitya jaya mangalam rajiva nayana Tyagaraja di vinudamaina ninama rupamulaku Nitya Jaya Mangalam. April 21st, I will be speaking at Sheshadripuram for their Ramanavami celebrations on Sri Rama Bhakti Samrajyam, on Sri Rama Bhakti Samrajyam. 21st, it's free for all, open to all. Sheshadripuram. 21st April. 24th April, I will be speaking at the Fort High School grounds on the topic, the Queen of Ayodhya. So that's a ticketed event, I suppose. You have to buy tickets. There are various ranges of the tickets. Those of you who are free can come in the evening and buy and attend. So 21st and 24th. Please do follow me on the social media handles like YouTube, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn.